Hi students, so today in this video we will focus on modulus of a complex number, different properties of conjugate of a complex number and square root of a complex numbers. So these are the concepts we are going to concentrate in this present video. So if z is equal to x plus iy is a complex number, we know that the complex number can be represented as an ordered pair. We can represent the complex number as an ordered pair x comma y. So now when we plot this point in the coordinate plane, so let us suppose the point is in first quadrant. This is only just we are supposing, the point can be in any quadrant. So let us suppose x comma y is somewhere here. Okay, and this is origin. So what is the distance of this point from origin? You can use distance formula. Origin is 0 comma 0. So OP using distance formula, it is under root x minus 0 whole square plus y minus 0 whole square. So this is the distance between O and P. So now what is modulus? So geometrically, the modulus of this complex number z, which is represented by a point P here. Okay, modulus of the complex number z is nothing but the distance of the point from the origin. So this is nothing but z actually. We are representing that with P. We are representing the complex number z with a point P here. We are giving a name P for that point. So distance of the complex number from the origin geometrically is defined as modulus of a complex number. So this distance is modulus, which is denoted with this symbol. So if z is equal to x plus iy, mod z is denoted like this. Normal modulus symbol you know very well. That symbol only we use. So modulus of z is under root OP distance x square plus y square. So what is this actually? How to remember? So modulus of complex number is always square root of square of real part plus square of imaginary part. It is as simple as that. Under root square of real part plus square of imaginary part. This is nothing but modulus of the complex number. So geometrically, modulus is always distance of the complex number from origin. That is the concept we have to remember. Now let us move on to the properties of conjugate of a complex number. So in that properties we will discuss the link between this conjugate and the modulus also, or the relation I should say. So if z is equal to x plus iy is a complex number, what is z bar? X minus iy. This is conjugate of z. Now let us consider z into z bar, multiply both of them. Z into z bar. So x plus iy into x minus iy. So this is a plus b into a minus b model. So a square minus b square model, it is x square minus iy square. So x square, you know I square is minus 1. So minus 1 y square. So it is going to be plus y square. So x square plus y square, okay, can be written as mod z whole square. Because mod z is under root x square plus y square. What is x square plus y square? You can write that as mod z whole square. So this is the relation connecting the conjugate of a complex number and modulus of complex number. So this is the property z into z bar is always equal to mod z whole square. So property connecting conjugate and modulus of complex number. Okay, so let us move on to another property now. So for example, I will take z plus z bar now. So you know what is z, x plus iy. What is z bar, x minus iy. When you add these two, what you will get? When you add these two, iy gets cancelled. So z plus z bar means 2x you will get. So therefore z plus z bar by 2 is equal to x. What is x actually? X is the real part of z. So z plus z bar by 2 is x, which is actually real part of z. So this is one more important condition. Real part of z will be x plus z bar by 2. Okay. Now I will subtract z and z bar. Let me take z minus z bar now. Subtracting these two. So x minus x cancel. Iy minus of iy means 2iy you will get. So what is y from this? Z minus z bar by 2i is equal to y. And y is actually imaginary part of z. So this is actually imaginary part of z. So this is the relation. Imaginary part of z, that means y, can be taken as z minus z bar by 2i. So the important conditions regarding modulus and conjugate we have discussed. Okay, so let us discuss some properties related to conjugate of complex numbers. So we have z1 and z2 as x1 plus iy1, x2 plus iy2. These are the two complex numbers we have assumed. So we have taken conjugate of z1 and conjugate of z2. z1 bar means conjugate of z1. And conjugate means simple, for imaginary part you have to change the sign, and that is what we have to notice here. Next, z1 plus z2. Addition of these two we have taken, z1 plus z2. So we x1 plus x2. Add real part separately. iy1 plus iy2. Add imaginary part separately. So this is z1 plus z2. Now I will take z1 plus z2 conjugate. So conjugate of z1 plus z2, this is the symbol. So conjugate of z1 plus z2 means for imaginary part we have to change the sign. So x1 plus x2 minus I into y1 plus y2 we will get. Okay, so I will write this as x1 plus x2 minus iy1 minus iy2 multiplying with minus I. So separate this x1 minus iy1 and separate x2 minus iy2. What is this x1 minus iy1? z1 bar. Okay, x2 minus iy2, z2 bar. So what we are getting, z1 plus z2 whole bar is equal to z1 bar plus z2 bar. That means conjugate of z1 plus z2 is same as conjugate of z1 plus conjugate of z2. So the simple meaning of that is, so this is the property. So meaning of this property is, so if you want to take conjugate of z1 plus z2, so conjugate of z1 plus z2 is same as taking conjugate of z1 separately, taking conjugate of z2 separately, and adding both will be same as adding z1 plus z2 and taking conjugate. So if you take conjugate by adding these two, or you take conjugate for z1, z2 separately and add, both will be same. So that is the basic property here. Similarly, same like this, we can actually prove that z1 plus z2 whole bar is same as z1 bar into z2 bar. The product of two complex numbers conjugate if you want. You can take separately conjugate of first complex number, second complex number, multiply both. That will be same as multiplying and taking conjugate. So therefore, whenever you have sum of complex numbers, you can separate conjugate for both of them. When you have product of complex numbers, you can separate conjugate for both of them. And this can be extended for more than two complex numbers also. We have taken two complex numbers here. If you have sum of three complex numbers, four complex numbers, okay, then also the same property will be applicable. So next, for example, if you have Z1 by Z2 whole bar, so you can separate conjugate for numerator and denominator like this. Of course, denominator must not be 0. So when you are writing formula, of course, denominator should not be 0 here. So no need to mention separately. Next, let us discuss what is Z bar whole bar. Means you are taking conjugate 2 times for Z. This will be Z only. So if you take conjugate 2 times for a complex number, it is going to be the original complex number only. I'll show you how. So take Z is equal to X plus Iy. Next take conjugate of Z. Conjugate of Z, therefore I wrote Z bar. Conjugate of Z. Change the sign for imaginary part. Okay. Again take conjugate. Means Z bar is there. For Z bar you take conjugate means again bar I am writing. So what is the conjugate of this Z bar? Change the sign of imaginary part. For this one I am taking conjugate. Therefore one more bar I am taking. Conjugate of this means imaginary part, we have to change the sign. So Z bar whole bar we got X plus Iy, which is same as Z only. This is actually same as Z only. So Z bar whole bar is Z. So if you take 2 times conjugate for a complex number, it will be same as the original complex number. So these are the basic properties whenever you are using conjugate. So sum of complex numbers, you can separate conjugate. If you have product of complex numbers, you can separate conjugate for all individually. You have ratio of complex numbers, then also you can separate conjugate. Take 2 times conjugate, it will be equal to original complex number. Okay, so now, so let us discuss square root of a complex number now. So let us take Z is equal to A plus IB is some complex number. A and B are of course real number. So if I take Z as A plus IB, square root of a complex number, that means root Z, root of A plus IB. So we are interested in finding this. So square root of complex number means generally it can be a complex number, it can be a real number, anything, but it may be complex or real, we don't know. So therefore, let us start by taking the square root of this complex number as X plus Iy. That means I am assuming to be complex number only, because we are completely blank, we don't know anything about that. Let us assume like that. So I am taking this square root of A plus IB as X plus Iy. So if it is not a complex number, you will get Y as 0 automatically. If it is a complex number, of course, if it is imaginary, you will not get Y as 0. So let us assume like this. Even if it is a real number, you will get Y is equal to 0, of course. So let us assume the square root of this like X plus Iy. After that, let us consider squaring on both sides to eliminate the square root. So squaring on both sides, we will get square root of A plus IB, that means A plus IB is equal to X plus Iy whole square. What is X plus Iy whole square? X square plus Iy whole square. Iy whole square means I square is minus 1, no? So minus Y square. So X square Iy square plus 2 into X into Iy. So I will write like this. X plus Iy whole square value is this one. Now comparing real parts on both sides and imaginary parts on both sides, we will get some conditions. So let us compare real and imaginary parts on both sides. So if you compare real parts on both sides, a must be equal to x square minus y square. So let us take this as first condition, and this b must be equal to 2xy. So this is the imaginary part here, 2xy is the imaginary part. So 2xy is equal to b. So this is the second condition we got. Now solving these two, let us find x and y. So in order to solve this now, I will take x square plus y square whole square. I will just take x square plus y square whole square. That means this is a plus b whole square model. A plus b whole square can be written as a minus b whole square plus 4ab. So simple algebraic formula, a plus b whole square can be written as a minus b whole square plus 4ab. Why I am using this? Because x square plus y square we know. Okay, and this is 2xy whole square, that also we know. So x square minus y square means a, plus this is 2xy whole square, directly I will write. 4x square y square is what? 2xy whole square. 2xy means b. So b square. So x square plus y square whole square value is this one. Therefore, I will write x square plus y square as under root a square plus b square. Under root a square plus b square plus or minus we will not take, because x square plus y square cannot be negative. Okay. So under root a square plus b square is what basically? Z is taken as a plus ib. What is this? This is nothing but modulus of z. Okay. So this is basically modulus of z. I will write that also. And let me take this as third condition. Now using 1 and 3, solving we can find xy values using 1 and 3. So I will consider equation 1 plus equation 3 now. 1 plus 3. If you add these two, what you will get? 2x square is equal to a plus mod z or mod z plus a. Okay, so therefore what is x square now? Mod z plus a by 2. X square value, that is. So what is x now? X square we got. What is x? Plus or minus under root mod z plus a by 2. So this is x value. So we have assumed the square root of as x plus iy, in which x we got now. Okay. So when you substitute this x square value in equation 1 or 3, then you will get y square also. Or you can do equation 1, equation 3, you can do subtraction also, of course. So let me do just solving 1 and 3. Let me do equation 3 minus equation 1. 3 minus 1 I am doing. So x square minus x square cancel. Y square plus y square means 2y square is equal to 3 minus 1. Okay. So mod z minus a. So this is 2y square is equal to mod z minus a. So y square is equal to mod z minus a by 2. Then what is going to be y value? Y will be plus or minus under root mod z minus a by 2. So x value we got, y value we got. So when you substitute x and y in this, That is nothing but square root of a plus ib. Square root of a plus ib we assumed like this. Now we know what is x, what is y. We can substitute here. Okay, so therefore when you substitute x and y in this one, both x and y have plus or minus. Okay, so plus or minus common you can take. So therefore you can write like this. Square root of a plus ib plus or minus to take common. Okay, plus or minus common, x this one, y this one. Okay, so therefore it is under root mod z plus a by 2 plus I under root mod z minus a by 2. So this is the value of square root of a plus ib. So what happens if b is negative? For example, just observe here. 2xy is equal to b we have. If b is positive, b means imaginary part. If b is positive, for example, 2xy must be positive. That means x and y must have same signs. So whenever your imaginary part is positive, x and y must have same signs. Anyhow, we have taken plus or minus common here. X and y must have same signs. Both must be positive or both must be negative. You have to take. So if b is negative, for example, if imaginary part is negative, for example, 2xy is negative. That means x and y must have opposite signs. X and y must have opposite signs means if you take plus here, you have to take minus here. If you take minus here, you have to take plus here. So x and y must have opposite signs means simply you write minus here. So if b, that means if imaginary part is negative, take minus in between the terms, automatically these two will be opposite signs only. So you have to remember that this formula is applicable if b is positive. So imaginary part is positive. If imaginary part is negative, for example, we will write the formula as plus or minus under root mod z plus a by 2 minus I into under root mod z minus a by 2. Same formula I wrote. Just in between the terms I have taken minus, and this formula is applicable when b is less than 0. That is, if b is negative, just you have to take minus in between the terms. If b is positive, you have to take plus in between the terms. So this is the basic formula for finding square root of a complex number. Just remember this formula. Procedure you can do anyhow, but directly we can apply this formula. Okay, so using this formula, let us derive a standard result. Okay, so this is the square root formula we have actually derived. Now using this square root of a plus ib formula, let us find the square root of I. So let us find square root of I. So I means you can write that as 0 plus I into 1, you can write like this. So when you compare with the formula, in place of A you have 0 and in place of B you have 1. And B is positive. So B is positive means in the formula, in between the terms plus sign must be taken. If B is negative, in between the terms minus sign must be taken in the formula. Okay, so let us apply the formula. A is 0, B is 1. Then what will be mod z? So I will write here. What will be mod z? Mod z will be under root a square plus b square. So mod z will be under root a square plus b square, which will be 1. Okay, so I will use all these things in the formula. Plus or minus under root mod z means 1 plus a means 0 by 2 plus I into under root mod z minus a by 2. So when you simplify, this is plus or minus under root 1 by 2 plus I into under root 1 by 2. That means 1 by root 2 plus I into 1 by root 2. So denominator root 2 is common. So plus or minus 1 plus I by root 2. So this is the value of square root of I, which is a standard result which we have to remember actually. So what happens when square root of minus I is taken? Square root of minus I means a will be 0, b will be minus 1. B is negative means in the formula you have to take minus here. So minus comes here, minus comes here, minus comes here. That is the difference. So square root of minus I means plus or minus 1 minus I root 2. 1 minus I by root 2 is the result. So this is a standard result, square root of I, square root of minus I, which we have to remember. Okay, so let us take a simple example of how to find square root by taking a general complex number. So for example, I will take z is equal to minus 8 minus 6i. Square root of z is required. Okay, so let me find mod z first. Mod z will be under root a square plus b square. So under root 64 plus 36. So root 110. This is mod z value. Okay. So in place of a you have minus 8. In place of b you have minus 6. B is negative here. So b is negative, therefore in the formula in between the terms you have to take minus. Okay. So square root of z will be now plus or minus under root mod z means 10 plus a means minus 8 by 2. B is negative now, so you have to take minus here. Minus I into under root mod z 10 minus a means minus 8 by 2. So plus or minus under root 10 minus 8 means 2 only. 2 by 2 means 1. Minus I into 18 by 2, 9. 18 by 2, 9, and root 9 you can take as 3. So plus or minus 1 minus 3i. Okay, so if you have minus 8 plus 6i, plus or minus 1 plus 3i will be our answer. So this is the basic application of square root of a complex number formula. Okay, now let us discuss some more properties related to modulus of a complex number. So for example, if mod z for z is equal to x plus iy is taken like this, z is equal to x plus iy. Mod z means under root x square plus y square. Let us take z bar, conjugate of z I am taking. Then what is modulus of z bar? Means modulus of this complex number. So modulus of this means under root square of real part plus square of imaginary part. So modulus of z bar, if we apply modulus formula, we will get like this. So we can write this as under root x square plus y square. You can remove minus sign, square is there, no? Under root x square plus y square means that is nothing but mod z value only. So this is mod z only. So modulus of z bar is same as mod z. So this is the property which we have to remember. Modulus of z bar is same as mod z. Okay, and if you have product of two complex numbers in modulus, You can separate modulus for both of them. You can write like this: when you have product of complex numbers, you can separate modulus. When you have ratio of two complex numbers, then also you can separate the modulus. But when you have sum of complex numbers, or when you have sum or difference of complex numbers, then you cannot separate the modulus when you have sum or difference of complex numbers. Or basically, modulus of Z1 plus Z2 is less than or equal to mod Z1 plus mod Z2. It is not equal to. So when equal to comes means modulus of Z1 plus Z2 is equal to mod Z1 plus mod Z2 will come only when Z1, Z2 are either purely real or purely imaginary of same signs. Means of having same imaginary parts or real parts must be having same signs. So Z1, Z2 must be purely real, having same signs, or purely imaginary with imaginary parts having same signs. Then only equal to mod Z1 plus mod Z2 will come. In all other cases, this will be less than mod Z1 plus mod Z2. Equal to comes only when Z1, Z2 are purely real, having same signs, or purely imaginary, having same signs for imaginary parts. Okay, so modulus of Z1 minus Z2 also same property will come. The property does not change. Why? Because simply you can write this as, then apply the above formula, that's all. Apply the above formula, mod Z1 plus modulus of minus Z2. Modulus of minus Z2 means mod Z2 only, no? So both are same only. For both of them condition is same. So you write modulus of Z1 plus Z2 or modulus of Z1 minus Z2. The condition will be same, less than or equal to mod Z1 plus mod Z2. Okay, so these are the properties related to modulus. So we will discuss some other concepts in the next coming video. Thank you.